The music empire that took decades to build is crumbling in real time. Sean "Diddy" Combs, the man who once ruled hip-hop with an iron fist, is now behind bars in a New Jersey federal prison. But what happened on January 27, 2026 has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world once again. His son just ignited a public war with one of hip-hop's most ruthless figures. His employees are speaking out about not being paid, and rumors about presidential pardons have been officially shut down by the White House itself. The Diddy situation just took a massive turn, and what you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about this case. When TMZ drops a headline that says, "The Diddy situation just took a massive turn," you know something significant has happened. According to reports from January 27, 2026, multiple developments converged on the same day, creating what industry insiders are calling a perfect storm of controversy. First, Christian Combs, Diddy's son who goes by the stage name King Combs, engaged in a fiery social media battle with rapper 50 Cent, escalating a feud that has deep roots in hip-hop history. Sources claim Christian called 50 Cent a senior citizen and suggested the veteran rapper is obsessed with his father's situation. Second, allegations surfaced that Diddy's employees and legal team are not receiving payments while he serves his 50-month sentence at Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution. According to multiple sources, staff members have expressed frustration about unpaid wages and outstanding legal fees. Third, the Trump pardon rumors that had been circulating since late 2025 were officially addressed, with President Trump himself confirming he received a letter from Diddy requesting clemency, but has no intention of granting it. This convergence of events on a single day has reignited public interest in a case that many thought had reached its conclusion. But as we're learning, the Diddy saga is far from over. To understand why this situation is so explosive, we need to go back to the beginning. Sean John Combs, known by various names including Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and simply Diddy, built one of the most impressive empires in entertainment history. From founding Bad Boy Records in the 1990s to launching successful clothing lines, fragrance brands, and beverage partnerships, Diddy became more than just a rapper. He became a symbol of Black entrepreneurial success. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Diddy was known for his extravagant lifestyle, legendary parties, and influential presence in both music and business. He discovered and developed artists like the notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, Mace, and many others who shaped the sound of hip-hop for generations. However, beneath the glamorous surface, whispers and rumors had been circulating for years. Various allegations and lawsuits were filed over time, though many were settled quietly. The public image remained largely intact, until everything changed in 2024. According to court documents, federal investigators had been building a case for years. In March 2024, Homeland Security agents raided Diddy's properties in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing electronics, documents, and other evidence. The raids were conducted in connection with an ongoing investigation into allegations of sex trafficking and other serious federal charges. By September 2024, Diddy was arrested in New York City. The indictment, when unsealed, revealed charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Prosecutors alleged that Diddy had used his business empire and employees to facilitate what they termed freak-offs, elaborate sexual performances involving commercial sex workers, drugs, and coercion. The trial began in May 2025 and lasted for weeks, with testimony from multiple witnesses, including former employees and alleged victims. The case captivated the nation, with daily updates dominating entertainment news cycles. On July 1, 2025, after days of deliberation, the jury reached a split verdict. According to reports, Sean "Diddy" Combs was found not guilty on the most serious charges: 2 counts of sex trafficking and 1 count of racketeering conspiracy. However, he was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, violations of what's known as the Mann Act. This outcome shocked many legal observers who had expected either a complete acquittal or conviction on all counts. The split verdict suggested the jury believed some of Diddy's actions crossed legal lines while finding insufficient evidence for the more serious trafficking and racketeering allegations. On October 3, 2025, Judge Arun Subramanian sentenced Combs to 50 months, just over 4 years, in federal prison, along with a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release upon completion of his sentence. Prosecutors had sought an 11-year sentence, arguing it would reflect the substantial psychological, emotional, and physical damage he has inflicted, according to court filings. Diddy was credited with approximately 12 months of time already served during his pretrial detention, meaning his effective sentence from that point forward was reduced. He was designated to serve his time at the Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix in New Jersey, a low-security facility known for housing white-collar criminals and non-violent offenders. On December 23, 2025, Diddy's legal team filed an appeal, arguing the sentence was unjust and that errors occurred during the trial. The appeal is currently pending in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. But while the legal process continued, life inside Fort Dix was reportedly anything but quiet. According to reports that emerged in November 2025, Diddy had allegedly been telling fellow inmates that President Trump would pardon him in early 2026. TMZ sources claimed Diddy was bragging about having connections to Trump and expressing confidence that he would receive clemency shortly after Trump's inauguration for his second term. These reports were given new credibility when President Trump himself addressed the situation in a January 8, 2026 interview with the New York Times. Trump confirmed he had received a letter from Diddy requesting a pardon but stated unequivocally that he was not considering granting it. Then came January 6, 2026. TMZ broke a story that sent ripples through both the entertainment and legal communities. Several of Diddy's employees were allegedly not being paid while he served his sentence. According to sources, attorneys handling Diddy's growing list of civil lawsuits had gone unpaid, along with other staff members. Some employees reportedly expressed frustration and anger, questioning how someone with Diddy's reported net worth, estimated at hundreds of millions of dollars, could fail to pay those working on his behalf. Diddy's representatives quickly responded, denying the allegations and stating that all employees and attorneys were being paid on schedule. However, the damage to his reputation was already done, with social media erupting in speculation about Diddy's true financial situation. And then, on January 27, 2026, the situation escalated further when Christian Combs publicly clashed with 50 Cent. The feud between 50 Cent and Diddy stretches back years, with roots in hip-hop's competitive culture and personal grievances. 50 Cent, born Curtis Jackson, has never been one to hold back his opinions, and he's been particularly vocal about Diddy's legal troubles, regularly posting memes and commentary about the case on social media. According to reports, on January 27, 2026, 50 Cent posted a video on Instagram that appeared to mock Christian Combs during a recent performance. In the clip, Christian allegedly attempted to get the crowd to chant, "Bad Boy," a reference to his father's iconic record label, but the crowd's response was reportedly underwhelming, creating an awkward moment. 50 Cent's post included commentary mocking the moment, which sources say pushed Christian Combs over the edge. Christian fired back in the comments section, allegedly calling 50 Cent a senior citizen and suggesting the veteran rapper's obsession with his father stemmed from the fact that Diddy had previously dated Daphne Joy, the mother of 50 Cent's son. The exchange quickly went viral, with hip-hop fans divided between those who felt Christian was defending his family's honor and those who believed he was in over his head engaging with someone as notoriously ruthless as 50 Cent. But 50 Cent didn't let it end there. According to multiple entertainment news outlets, 50 Cent responded by bringing up the pending legal case against Christian Combs. In April 2024, a woman named Grace O'Marque filed a lawsuit alleging that Christian Combs had assaulted her on a yacht. The lawsuit claims she was working as a crew member when Christian allegedly drugged and sexually assaulted her during a chartered yacht trip. 50 Cent's post allegedly referenced this case directly, asking Christian, "How is your case going?" and making implications about the allegations. The exchange highlighted not just the personal animosity between the two camps, but also the broader legal troubles facing the Combs family. The developments of late January 2026 have triggered a wide range of reactions across social media and the entertainment industry. On platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, discussions have been dominated by several key themes. Many users expressed concern about the unpaid employee allegations, questioning how someone of Diddy's wealth could allow staff to go unpaid. Others focused on the Christian Combs situation, with some defending the young artist for standing up for his father, while others criticized him for engaging in a battle he couldn't win. The Trump pardon angle generated significant political commentary, with some questioning why Diddy would believe he had any chance of receiving clemency given the nature of his convictions. Others pointed to the history of celebrity pardons under various administrations, suggesting the request wasn't as unrealistic as it might seem. Within the music industry, there's been a notable silence from many of Diddy's former collaborators and artists. Very few major figures have publicly commented on the situation since his conviction, reflecting either personal distance from Diddy or strategic avoidance of a toxic situation. However, some artists and industry insiders have spoken out anonymously to entertainment reporters. One music executive, speaking to a major outlet, allegedly said, "This is a cautionary tale about power and accountability. For years, people looked the other way because of his influence. Now reality has caught up, and everyone's scrambling to distance themselves." The allegations about unpaid employees have hit particularly hard in an industry already grappling with issues of fair compensation and exploitation. Several industry groups have used the story to highlight broader concerns about how staff are treated in the entertainment business. The Christian Combs situation has also raised questions about legacy and family. Many have expressed sympathy for the position Christian finds himself in, defending a father who's incarcerated while also trying to build his own career in an industry that's now skeptical of the Combs name. Several factors explain why the Diddy situation has exploded back into public consciousness in late January 2026. First, timing. The convergence of multiple storylines on the same day. The Christian Combs feud, the employee payment allegations, and fresh discussion of the Trump pardon rejection created a news cycle perfect storm. When multiple negative stories emerge simultaneously, they amplify each other, keeping the subject in the headlines longer. Second, the personalities involved. 50 Cent is one of social media's most followed and controversial figures. When he engages in a public feud, millions pay attention. His decision to bring Christian Combs' pending legal case into the discussion added a more serious dimension to what might have otherwise been dismissed as typical hip-hop beef. Third, the broader cultural moment. According to sociologists and media analysts, society is currently in a period of intense reckoning with issues of power, accountability, and justice. High-profile cases involving allegations of exploitation and abuse receive sustained attention in ways they might not have a generation ago. Fourth, the unanswered questions. Despite the conviction and sentencing, many aspects of the Diddy case remain unclear. The split verdict left observers wondering what evidence the jury found compelling for some charges but insufficient for others. The ongoing civil lawsuits promise to reveal additional information. The appeal process means the legal story isn't finished. Fifth, the financial mystery. For someone reportedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars to allegedly not pay employees raises obvious questions. Is Diddy's wealth not what it appeared to be? Are his assets frozen or tied up in legal proceedings? Is this a cash flow problem or something more serious? The lack of clear answers has fueled intense speculation. Finally, the human drama. At its core, this is a story about the rise and fall of a powerful figure, complicated family dynamics, loyalty, betrayal, and consequences. These elements have driven compelling narratives throughout human history, and they're now playing out in real time on social media platforms accessible to billions. The Diddy situation remains in flux, with several potential developments on the horizon. Legal front. The appeal of Diddy's conviction and sentence is currently making its way through the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Legal experts have offered varying opinions on its chances of success. Some believe the split verdict, acquittal on the most serious charges but conviction on lesser ones, could provide grounds for appellate arguments. Others suggest that federal convictions are rarely overturned on appeal unless clear legal errors can be demonstrated. If the appeal is successful, Diddy could receive a new trial, a reduced sentence, or potentially even have his convictions vacated entirely. However, if the appeal fails, his sentence stands, and he would serve the remainder of his time at Fort Dix. Additionally, multiple civil lawsuits remain pending. According to reports, several individuals have filed civil complaints seeking damages for alleged misconduct. These cases could proceed regardless of the criminal appeal outcome, potentially resulting in significant financial judgments against Diddy. Financial situation. The employee payment allegations, whether ultimately proven true or false, have raised serious questions about Diddy's financial health. If his businesses are struggling to make payroll, this could indicate deeper financial problems that might result in bankruptcy filings, asset sales, or business closures. Alternatively, if the allegations are unfounded or result from administrative confusion during his incarceration, Diddy's representatives may successfully clear his name on this front. However, the damage to his reputation as a businessman may already be done. Family dynamics. Christian Combs' very public feud with 50 Cent and his own pending legal troubles create an uncertain future for the next generation of the Combs family. How Christian navigates both defending his father and building his own career will be closely watched. Other family members, including Diddy's other children, have largely maintained public silence. Whether they will speak out, what they might say, and how they'll manage the family's business interests remains to be seen. Trump pardon possibility. While President Trump has publicly stated he's not considering a pardon for Diddy, presidential decisions can change. Trump has granted controversial pardons in the past, and political considerations can shift. However, given the public nature of Trump's rejection and the fact that Diddy's crimes involve moral offenses rather than political or business-related charges, most legal observers consider a pardon extremely unlikely. Industry comeback. Even if Diddy serves his full sentence and is eventually released, the question of whether he can rebuild his entertainment empire remains open. The music industry has sometimes forgiven and embraced artists with criminal histories, but the nature of Diddy's convictions and the changing cultural climate around accountability make his path back to prominence uncertain. Some industry insiders believe he'll never regain his former status. Others suggest that in an industry with short memories, a strategic return with the right music and messaging could be possible, especially if he serves his time and expresses genuine remorse. Public perception. Perhaps the most unpredictable element is public opinion. In the age of social media, narratives can shift rapidly. A single interview, documentary, or piece of evidence could dramatically change how people view the entire situation. The ongoing drip of new information, new lawsuits, new allegations, new revelations from inside Fort Dix keeps the story alive and prevents any clear conclusion from forming in the public mind. Beyond the immediate headlines, the Diddy situation raises profound questions about power, accountability, and justice in America. Power and privilege. For decades, Diddy operated at the highest levels of entertainment, business, and celebrity culture. His wealth and connections gave him access to political figures, business leaders, and cultural influencers. The case raises uncomfortable questions about how long such privilege can shield someone from consequences and what finally triggers accountability. The music industry's culture. Multiple people who've worked in the music industry have pointed out that Diddy's alleged behavior, if true, didn't happen in a vacuum. They suggest that a culture of excess, exploitation, and looking the other way enabled problematic conduct for years. Some advocates are calling for industry-wide reforms in how artists, especially powerful executives, are monitored and held accountable. Wealth and legal outcomes. The split verdict and relatively lighter sentence, compared to what prosecutors sought, have led some to argue that wealth still provides significant advantages in the criminal justice system. Diddy had access to top-tier legal representation and resources unavailable to most defendants. Whether this influenced the outcome remains a subject of debate. Family and legacy. What happens to someone's legacy when serious allegations emerge? Diddy's contributions to music, culture, and business are undeniable. Does a criminal conviction erase those contributions, or can they coexist? How do children of powerful, flawed figures navigate their own identities? These philosophical questions don't have easy answers. The digital age effect. Social media has fundamentally changed how these stories unfold. The Christian Combs 50 Cent feud played out in real time for millions to watch. Court documents are shared and analyzed within hours. Prison photos leak online. This constant, immediate visibility creates a different kind of pressure and accountability than existed in previous generations. As Sean Diddy Combs sits in his cell at Fort Dix, the empire he spent decades building continues to crumble outside those walls. His son fights public battles he may not be equipped to win. His employees allegedly go unpaid while he fights legal battles. His appeals may or may not succeed, and the world watches, waiting for the next shocking revelation. The massive turn that happened on January 27, 2026, is likely just one chapter in a much longer story. What seemed like a conclusion when the verdict came down in July 2025 now appears to have been merely an intermission. Will Diddy find a way to rebuild his reputation from behind bars? Will his family hold together under this intense scrutiny? Will more allegations emerge, or will some be proven false? Will the appeals court overturn his conviction, or will he serve every day of his sentence? These questions don't have answers yet, but one thing is absolutely certain: the world hasn't heard the last of the Diddy situation. Every week seems to bring a new development, a new controversy, a new reason for this story to dominate headlines. The music mogul who once declared "can't stop, won't stop" has discovered that some forces, legal consequences, public accountability, and the unforgiving nature of modern media can't be overcome with wealth, connections, or confidence alone. And as this story continues to unfold, millions are watching, discussing, and waiting to see what happens next in one of the most dramatic falls from grace in entertainment history. The Diddy situation just took a massive turn, and the turns, it seems, are far from over.